everybody. Thank you for joining the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. My name is Samantha Genzer. I'm going to be your show host for you today. We have a very exciting show for you guys. We're first going to be covering the recent WNBA games, the teams that qualified for the CrossFit Games, those that already qualified for Team USA for the upcoming Paris Olympics, the Roland Garros and the International de Strasbourg competition, and make sure you guys stay till the end to hear about the top 10 best PWHL players. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and follow the show, and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, we do get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your questions get read on the air, I ask that you use the link to put your questions at the top of the list so that I see them. Also, it really does help the show, and we really do appreciate it. Once again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Okay, now let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. Okay, we're first going to be talking about the recent WNBA games, a little recap of it all. There is some drama that we need to unfold, some injuries that we need to talk about. So we're just going to dive right into it and get started. So, as we know, it's the beginning of the 2024 WNBA season, and the games that have been taking place so far have been really interesting, especially with the rookies, and I'm excited to talk about them, especially with all these amazing new players, and the team's dynamics have definitely shifted from last year. So we already talked about Tuesday, May 14th, Wednesday, May 15th, and Thursday, May 16th games when we reviewed how the rookies' debut games went. I recommend that you check out those videos. You get like an analysis, however you say that word, of how the rookies did. It's really interesting. But today we're going to be covering Friday, May 17th, Mystics v. Sun and Storm v. Lynx games. Saturday, May 18th, Liberty v. Fever, Aces v. Sparks, and Dream v. Mercury games. Monday, May 20th, Sun v. Fever games. And lastly, Tuesday, May 21st, Mystics v. Sun, Wings v. Dream, and Mercury v. Aces games. So let's start off with Friday, May 17th, Mystics v. Sun game. The Sun won the game 84-77. I'm so sorry okay, my bad. Sorry, technical issues here. Anyway, Daywana Bonner and Jejoni Carrington dominated the game with 22 and 21 points respectively. Even though the Mystics did end up losing the game, rookie Julie Vanloo did pretty well, and she scored 12 points, and 12 points was really good for the amount of time that she played. And then the other game that night was where the Storm went head-to-head with the Lynx. And here the Lynx won the game 102-93. Napheesa Collier led in points for the team, scoring a total of 29 points. Kayla McBride and Alana Smith also played very well, playing over 40 minutes both. McBride scored a total of 19 points and Smith scored 16 points. Now moving on to the games on Saturday, May 18th, the New York Liberty and Indiana Fever went head-to-head, and Fever lost terribly last week, but this game they did a lot better, only losing to Liberty 91-80. Even though they still lost, it was a much better loss than the other game against Liberty. Caitlin Clark scored a total of 22 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. Jonquel Jones, who received a rapturous ovation following the game, posted a double-double with 14 points and 12 rebounds. The attention and scrutiny surrounding Clark has only made that charge more challenging for her. And Jones said after the game, "The media needs to give her some time and grace to develop as a player. Her impact will be tremendous as she grows and matures." And then referring to Clark, the Liberty coach said, "She's a great young talent, and you have to remember she's a young talent. It's hard coming in as number one. When is the last time a number one pick has come in and dominated from the start?" And I totally agree with that. There has been so over-the-top expectations for Caitlin Clark, but still this was a good game for her and everything. It's just a lot of critics have expected the Fever to just make this huge comeback immediately with Caitlin Clark and the team, and that's just not really how a team sport in general works. So it's just interesting to think like that. And just see from both perspectives for sure. The next game that we're going to talk about was a very, very close game with a final score of 89-82. The Aces won this game with 89 points. Sparks lost with 82 points. Derica Hamby scored 9 29 points. Wow, 90 points, that would be crazy. 29 points, really helping the Sparks. On the other hand, multiple Aces players had a great game. Jackie Young and Asia Wilson both scored 22 points, and Wilson really dominated the rebounds, getting a total of 10 rebounds. Young dominated in assists with a total of 11 assists. Chloe Plum also had a good game, scoring 17 points. Let's also talk about the Dream v Mercury game, which ended in such a close score of 88 to 85. So once again, another super close game. The Mercury ended up winning. This game was really significant as Kahleah Copper scored a career-high 38 points. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus had 11 points, and Alicia Gray had 10 in the fourth quarter as the Dream, down 70 to 60 with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to play, charged back to lead 81 to 74 at the 4-minute and 11-second mark. A layup by Parker-Tyus produced Atlanta's first lead of the game at 73 to 72. Diana Taurasi had 15 points, and Cunnington had 10 for the Mercury. Copper and Taurasi combined for 23 points, but Ryan Howard kept the Dream in it with 21 points total, going 4 of 5 on three-pointers. Next up on Monday, May 20th, where the Sun and Fever played against each other. This game had so much drama to unpack, and we are going to really dive into it here. The game was very close, as you can see. The Fever only lost by 4 points. During this game, Caitlin Clark rolled her left ankle midway through the second quarter of her fourth WNBA game, stumbling awkwardly and losing her footing as she prepared to go around a screen. She slammed her hand on the bench in frustration and went back to the locker room immediately. She was in obvious pain. Clark returned to the bench after a couple minutes, and she ended up starting the second half and finished the game with 17 points, which tied for the team lead with Kelsey Mitchell. Tyesha Harris scored 13 of Connecticut's final 18 points Monday night, including 2 free throws with 10.9 seconds left, and the game tied to give the Connecticut Sun an 88 to 84 victory over still winless Indiana Fever. Harris finished with 16 points total in the end, though. Clark said, "I think you could see the progress that we're making, and that's why this one hurts a lot. We were right there, and we had plenty of opportunities to go win the game, and you don't. We've played the top teams in the league, and we were right there with the Sun today." And that's totally true. They definitely had made a lot of improvement, and we've seen them based on the game that they played. I mean, if you look at their New York Liberty game, they didn't lose as nearly as much they lost before, and this game they definitely played a lot better than their first game. So there is improvement there. It just does suck to see that they have not won yet, but I'm thinking that they are gonna hopefully get an opportunity there. The result has been a predictably difficult learning curve. 4 straight losses, the first 3 by double digits, for a young team led by the newest star who played in front of yet another sellout Monday night. So the pressure really is on. And then yesterday, May 21st, the Mystics v Starks game ended so incredibly close. As you can see, a lot of these games are very close, with the Sparks winning 70 to 68. Lexi Brown scored 20 points, and rookie Cameron Brink led a defensive effort that 3 times did not allow a clear shot in the final possessions. With Los Angeles leading 67 to 66, Washington had the ball and called timeout with 24.7 seconds left and 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They did not get a shot off. The Sparks then made 3 of 4 free throws and led 70 to 68 before the Mystics went to Shakira Austin in the paint for a chance to tie the score. Brink stripped her of the ball as she attempted to shoot, then Brink blocked the shot after the loose ball came back to Austin. With 0.3 seconds left, the Mystics inbounded to Austin again in the paint, but she did not get a shot up against Brink's defense. The score was tied at 55 entering the fourth quarter, then Stephanie Dolson gave the Sparks the lead for good at 58 to 55 when she hit a 3-pointer with 9 minutes remaining. Los Angeles went on to lead 65 to 58, before the Mystics got their first field goal of the final period. A driving layup by Aaliyah Edwards with 4.5 minutes remaining. The Sparks led 24 to 23 after 1 quarter, then the teams combined to score only 21 points in the second period. Washington took a 30 to 29 lead on a 25-foot 3-pointer by rookie Julie Van Loo in the midst of an 11-0 run that covered 6 minutes of playing time. The Mystics led 36 to 32 at halftime. Brown's 20 points included 3 3-pointers, and she added 6 assists. Derica Hamby had 17 points and 18 rebounds, and Kia Nurse scored 13. Brink, the number 2 pick in the recent WNBA draft, had 4 points and 8 rebounds and was credited with 4 blocks. This was a really good game for her, and she was really, really fun to watch on the court. And then Wings v Dreams game ended in a win for the Dream, 83-78. For the Dream, there was not a single player that truly dominated the court, and instead all the players had a good amount of points. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's always a good thing when all the players do great, you know. The highest number of points in the Dream was 21 points by Alicia Gray. For the Wings, rookie JC Sheldon played very well, playing a total of 15 minutes and scoring 2 points. She also had 3 assists, which is good for a rookie and really good considering she only played 15 minutes. Lastly, we're going to talk about the game Mercury v Aces, which ended in a total score of 98-88. This was the most interesting game, in my opinion, to watch these past 4 days. Kahleah Copper scored 37 points, and the Phoenix Mercury handed the 2-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces their first loss of the season. The Aces, down 15 with 5.5 minutes to play, had pulled with the 90-88 on Kelsey Plume's 7 3-pointer seconds earlier. Copper added a steal and a layup, and Natasha Cloud and Sophie Cunningham both had a pair of free throws as the Mercury scored the last 8 points of the game that had 14 lead changes through 3 quarters. Suggs Sutton added 12 points and Cloud 11 for the Mercury. Plum had 27 points for the Aces. Jackie Young added 23, and Asia Wilson had 21 with 13 rebounds. This game was so particularly interesting because, I mean, I wouldn't say Mercury is an underdog here in the league at all, but I mean, when you look at the Aces, you expect them to win, and it was definitely an interesting game seeing the Mercury win. I don't know. I really like it when you don't expect a team to win, and they're like, oh my gosh, they won. Like, I feel like it's so interesting, and it makes the game a lot more fun. Especially, like, this wasn't like, I mean, it is a close game, 10-point difference, but it could have been a 2-point difference, a 1-point difference. Like, this is a 10-point difference. Like, that's pretty insane that Mercury beat the 2-time champs, Aces, this early in the season. Despite the win, though, Deanna Taurasi struggled throughout the game, only scoring 9 points on 3 of 13 shooting. Late in the second quarter, with just over a minute remaining, an altercation broke out between multiple players from both teams. The argument started after things got a little heated between Jackie Young and Sophie Cunningham. Taurasi and Plume ended up, or Plum. Wow, that was so weird. My brain just turned off. Taurasi and Plum ended up in the middle of the altercation along with several others. So that was another reason why the game was so interesting. There is some heated arguments over there. So we're now going to switch over to talk about CrossFit, but before we begin, we are going to take a short break, so I will see you guys very soon.